G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Super Rugby Round 1, Day 2, Highlanders versus the Blues in a basketball game, at least for the Blues anyway. 60 points to 20, Blues comfortably beat the Highlanders, completely outclassed the Highlanders by the way. King Bowden didn't even have to do much to completely annihilate the Highlanders. The backline for the Blues completely outclassed the Highlanders backline. The 4-pack was closer, but the Highlanders 4-pack was making way too many mistakes. And yeah, in the end of the day, the Blues really didn't have to do much. Like there was no crazy kicking game out of Bowden Barrett. There was just very basic stuff like hands and a lot of mistakes from the Highlanders, resulting in Blues tries, like missed passes and intercepts. And Mark Talea apparently learned how to catch, and now he's like the best player, best winger in New Zealand. Was completely dominating everybody in the Highlanders team. He was just running through people. Like you're watching this guy run the ball, you're like, surely he's gonna get tackled. Okay, he bumped up that guy. Surely he's gonna tackle. He bumped up like what? Multiple, like 6 players or something, or 8 players or something at one point. It was just ridiculous. Ridiculous amount of missed tackles, ridiculous individual performance by Mark Talea, which is looking quite good for the All Blacks. And in the end, 8 tries for the Blues, 60 points to 20. There was one period with the Highlanders before halftime put some squeeze on the Blues, and it did look like potentially this was going to be a contestable game where Highlanders claw back 2 tries, kind of got themselves within reach of the Blues again just before halftime, and it was the Blues was giving away 2 yellow cards as well. Second half started, the Blues just kept cool. Despite having a player in the bin for the first 10 minutes in the second half, the Blues was able to was able to not concede any more points at all in the second half. So this one says 46 minutes. This was actually in the first half. The Highlanders pushed 7 minutes into extra time in the first half to get their second try. Showed a lot of guts, but in the end was just not enough. Match stats: 8 tries to 2, 736 run minutes to the 463. Turnovers conceded: 18 against the Highlanders, 14 against the Blues. 150 tackles, 37 missed tackles for the Highlanders. Blues not that great themselves. 145 tackles made, 24 missed tackles. Kicks in play: 25 for the Highlanders, 20 for the Blues. A lot of the Highlanders kicking I thought was really poor quality as well, giving way too much space for players like Mark Talea to work with. Knowing how difficult, how dangerous the Blues backline is with Bowden Barrett, Mark Talea, even Stephen Perofeta, they're all extremely good counter-attacks and world-class backline players. I don't know why Highlanders really play more kicking than the Blues. They probably should not have done that at all. It's kind of we're really not that smart there for the Highlanders part. 14 lineouts, Highlanders 1 loss, Blues 2 lineouts lost themselves. Scrums was quite even. Probably the only thing the Highlanders was able to show some dominance is the scrummaging, especially when the Blues were yellow carded. The Highlanders really put some squeeze on in the scrums. And then penalties conceded, 12 apiece. Blues had 2 yellow cards, like I said. Under pressure from the Highlanders. Let me turn the light on. Under pressure from the Highlanders, repeated penalties, giving away 2 yellow cards before halftime. So let's quickly sum up some of the key points for the match. Not much to say. This was just outclassed. This is probably the nicest way to put it. So right away, 12 minutes in, so at the beginning, both teams were kind of tentative. Kick 1 penalty from points kick for both teams. Nobody was kind of keen to pressure too much. 12 minutes into the game, Mark Talea basically gets the ball out wide and just had 1 defender to beat. He was beating everybody, so 1 defender was quite an easy task for him. This light is just going crazy for me. Just turn this off maybe for now. Anyway, we'll fix this one later. But yeah, Mark Talea had 1 defender. Just that way, really basic stuff on the Blues as well. Just let me turn the light on. That's better. So a lot of nothing too crazy. Just Blues again for this entire game. Just really basic stuff. Good hands all the way to the wing. Bowden Barrett was able to find himself, solid himself in space. Just exactly what happened here. Creating an overlap, getting Talea onto the wing. Try time. 20 minutes into the game, this was a counter-attack, I believe it was. So the Highlanders was inside the Blues half. there was a missed pass, and then the Blues scoops up the ball. Finlay Christie finds himself out of space, just runs down the field, links up with Talea, and then Talea makes a nice little half break, and then pops the ball back to Bowden as he's getting tackled, and Bowden just had to scoop it up, pop the ball down for the second try for the Blues. And then 3 minutes later, this one is something that I was really actually angry when I saw this try scored by Caleb Clark. So basically, Bowden Barrett got the ball inside his own half. He saw some space behind the Highlanders defense. He just punted the ball behind the defensive line. The ball rolled into the end zone, and the Highlanders number 12 was just literally like jogging. I was angry watching this. He was literally just like jogging as Clark just like ran past him and grounded the ball. Like, Clark had no business in getting there first. And yeah, you can watch this replay. The Highlanders number 12 was not committed at all to try to get this ball. He's just like jogging back, floundering, and you can see he was not determined to get the ball before Clark. And Clark got there, just easy try for the Blues. 23 minutes in. And then after that one, the Blues, once again, bit of a counter-attack from inside their own half. Riku Ioane and Mark Talea, two extremely dangerous players, had a bit of a 1-2 combo, juked a few players, and made themselves down the sideline. And eventually, Clark got the ball from Talea, goes in for the fourth try before 30 minutes. And then the Highlanders did manage to get themselves back into the hunt a little bit. They were able to put a bit of a pressure into the Blues side. The Blues side actually had pretty good defense considering how much pressure they were under. 35 minutes, finally, Highlanders were able to get a try. So basically, so Falau Fakatava basically scored just before this. He gets tackled just short and he lunged himself forward to ground the ball. The referee deemed that a double movement. But a few minutes later, again, Highlanders just crashing through into the Blues defense, and the Blues was doing so well defending. Ethan de Groot gets really close to the post. He's joining like so many players. Finally spaced out wide. The ball goes out. Mitchell Hunt is his name. Gets the ball, goes in. Founds a big gap, goes in for the first try for Highlanders. And then just before halftime, in fact, well into extra time in the first half, Highlanders just pounding the Blues. RTS give away the second yellow card, giving the Highlanders 2 players advantage. So yeah, before Hunt scored, there was a yellow card as well. So anyway, there was 2 player advantage. Highlanders finally was able to assert the dominance and find just going for the scrummaging after the penalty. The ball goes out. I think it was, what was it? Anyway, they were the ball comes up in the scrum, just nice little short pass, and then Timu goes in for the second try for the Highlanders. And at halftime, the score was 20 points to 31. So the Highlanders was not completely out of the game. It was looking like they could potentially come back if they kept the pressure on. By second half, despite having a play in the bin, the Blues was able to manage the first 3 points during that 10 minutes of yellow card. And then you can tell the Highlanders is running out of gas. They'd had some Gatorade or whatever and had the burst of energy, and then the sugar has run out, and they just kind of really halted for the second half completely. So it took 13 minutes, basically 3 minutes after the Blues returns to full strength. They were able to put their first try on the ball, just put on a lot of pressure inside the Highlanders 22. The ball eventually, a quick ball came out of the rocks, the short ball to Renata from the number 9, and I think it was, Christie, and then he goes in for the first try in the second half of the Blues, and then the game kind of went quickly downhill for the Highlanders after that. The Blues was just able to basically just utilize the full width of the field at will. There was one after this try was Renata was scored. They just basically had a nice little hands to one side. Bowden Barrett created a bit of an overlap, and then AJ Lamb goes in. Should have been a try. He goes over the try line and he drops the ball. Pretty bad. But then the Blues goes, okay, let's try that again. Do the exact same thing. Bowden Barrett loops around, creates an overlap in the short side, passes the ball, and then Dalton Papali'i gets the ball from AJ Lamb, and Dalton did exactly the same thing into the corner, and he was able to put the ball down without dropping it, and that was the 6th try for the Blues. And then the Highlanders was actually had a new player. I think it was, Freddie Burns? Freddie Burns. Billy Burns' brother, believe it or not, older brother, comes on. I think it was him who threw this pass, tries to throw a big long loopy pass, and Talea, the Superman himself, catches this ball, just runs 60 meters, scores try on the other end. And finally, on 77th minute, once again, what wasn't it? I think it was Talea again, just gets the ball down the wing. Yeah, he bumped off like, 5 players or something? It looked like Shorty's going to get tackled. Like, he bumps off one player, bumps off another, shrugs off another. And then eventually, he was like one last defender left. He runs into him, just offloads the ball to his inside man, Rico Ioane, puts the ball down and says, thanks very much, brother. I'll take that one. 8 tries to 2 for the Blues. Easy win, completely outclassed the Highlanders. Really disappointing if you're a Highlanders fan. I was expecting a little bit more of a contest out of this, but the Blues does look super, super slick. A number of the players are in form. So yeah, easy win for the Blues. King Bowden takes this one. And anyway, I gotta go watch the Reds game. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this game. I'll see you guys a bit later. Cheers.